Click start. That's why there's a little red dot up here. All right, solve systems of linear equations. In 3 variables. I'm making you do this the really difficult way now. In like 3.6 or 3.7, I'll teach you a cheat way to do it. But I do make you do them out by hand, at least one on the test. So just be aware of that. Tell whether the given ordered triple is a solution of the system. So number 4, they give us the ordered triple -1, -2, 5, and then we have 4x minus y plus 3z equals 13. See, it's trying to do it.
Whoa.
X plus y plus z equals 2. And x plus 3y minus 2z equals -17.
Looks like it's just highlighting. Can you write a basic math problem so we can see it?
Why is it not? Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Wait, it's even in your handwriting. That's
No, the 7's ugly.
Oh, that's true.
The 7's word.
Yeah.
Why would you write a 7?
It's weird, but I'm going to turn it off because it's going to get really annoying because it'll start throwing stuff around and makes it annoying. Off. Okay. I feel like I shouldn't have to do that every time, but
Yeah.
here we are. All right, so when I have one like this, I'm taking the order triple and plugging it in to these. You need to do it in at least 2 unless the very first one that you do is a no, like where it doesn't match. So I'm going to start with, well, do you want to do equation 1, 2, or 3?
2.
All right, so we'll do 2 and then we'll do 3 because Zach wants to do 3. All right, so plug it in. -1 minus 2 plus 5 equals 2. -3 plus 5 is 2 equals 2, so that works. And then always check a second one because sometimes it coincidentally will work in one and not in another. But if it works in at least 2 of them, it should be fine. So in the third equation, -1 plus 3 times -2 minus 2 times 5 equals -17. And remember, anytime we're verifying that something works, we aren't moving stuff from one side to the other. We're leaving it on one side and making the one side look like the other. So -1 minus 6 minus 10 equals -17. -17 equals -17. So we're good. All right, number 6, same thing. -5, 1, 0. 3x plus 4y minus 2z equals -11. 2x plus y minus z equals 11. X plus 4y plus 3z equals -1. Which one do we want to plug it in first?
The easy one. 3. 3 because I'm the third kid.
Okay, I heard 2 and 3, so we'll do 2 and 3.
Must be just one.
Well, 1 has a lot of multiplying.
Coefficients.
All right, 2 times -5 plus 1 minus 0 equals 11. -10 plus 1 equals 11. -9 equals 11.
Nope.
No, so no solution. or you could say not a solution, however you want to do it. So once you get one that's a no, you don't have to keep going. Now on this one, I'm not going to work them all out, but if you had done 1 and 3, you would have gotten yeses, and 2 was a no. So
do you have to do only 2 for it to be correct?
I mean, this one is usually it doesn't work in 2 and not the third. This one's just a weird one where it works in 1 and 3 and it doesn't work in 2. So, but fortunately it doesn't work in the one that's typically going to be the one that's picked because there's less multiplying happening, so. Okay, now we're going to jump into actually solving the system using elimination. What?
I didn't do nothing.
So these first ones say using elimination. When you're doing your homework problems, you need to do whichever method it says, but I will tell you that oftentimes on the quiz or the test, I don't specify which method because I would just say use whichever one you prefer when you're doing. I just want you to get the right answer. So however you have to get it for that one is fine, as long as you use one of these methods and not the cheat method that you'll learn later in the chapter. All right, number 10. I've got 2x minus y plus 2z equals negative 7. Negative x plus 2y minus 4z equals 5. And x plus 4y minus 6z equals negative 1. I'm getting ready to tell you. All right, so we're doing elimination. So when we did elimination with 2 equations, 2 unknowns, what did we have to do?
Oh, you got it.
Multiply by variable.
We had to cancel a variable. So we need to, okay, right now I have 3 equations, 3 unknowns. I need to get it down to 2 equations and 2 unknowns to be able to start solving this. So what I want to do is I'm going to pick 2 equations. So right now I'm going to say this first and second one. And you have to, like, we're going to pick a variable to solve for in this one, and then I'm going to pick 2 more equations and solve for that same variable. Okay? So in these first 2, it's not hard, it's just really tedious. So in these first 2, which, well,
2.
huh?
The second one.
Multiply 2 by the second one, so my x's are going to cancel. So this one's going to get multiplied by 2. So that's going to give me a 2x minus y plus 2z equals, equals negative 7. And negative 2x plus 4y minus 8z equals 10. So now,
You didn't do anything to the first one.
correct, the first one's just copied exactly. Sometimes we do have to multiply both, but this one, fortunately, we did not. So in this situation, x is getting canceled. I have 3y minus 6z equals 3. What'd you just realize?
Never mind.
All right, now I'm going to use the bottom 2 equations and cancel the x's because I don't have to multiply anything. There's a negative x and a positive x, but I still have to cancel x. So sometimes whatever variable you choose first can make your life more difficult on the second one. So I try to start examining, and it was harder when I was first learning them, but I try to start examining what's going to make my life easier as I go through.
Yeah, we should have done the first one.
What?
Change the first one to multiply it by 2 so you get rid of the y's, and then it would make x. It would make x equal, so it would be easy.
This one is already pretty easy.
It makes
All right.
sense in my
So on this one, I don't have to multiply either of them by anything. So I'll have negative x plus 2y minus 4z equals 5, and x plus 4y minus 6z equals negative 1. X's cancel. I have 6y minus 10z equals 4. Now what do I have?
You have
A system with two equations and two variables.
2 equations and 2 unknowns. So I'm going to stack those together. So 3y minus 6z equals 3, and 6y minus 10z equals 4. I need to be able to cancel something, so what should I do?
Divide the bottom by 2.
multiply the top by 10 and the bottom by 6.
How about I just multiply the top by negative 2?
Okay.
Yeah. Either way would have been easier.
So then I'll have, I'm not going to rewrite this bottom one, I'm just going to rewrite the top one. So negative 6y plus 12z equals negative 6. So I'm just going to put a little line through that one. So now I've got 2z equals negative 2. So z equals negative 1. I've solved for one variable.
Only one.
So far. This is where it gets easy. You've done the hard part.
Okay.
This part was the hard part, I would say. Now I have one variable solved for. Any ideas what I might need to do?
Plug it into one of the original thingies and then you
Not
get
the original.
Look in the back.
Definitely not the original, because you still have 2 equations, or you have 2 unknowns still in an original.
to one of
Look in the back of the
two
book for
ones.
that
I'm putting in one of the new ones.
I would plug it in either this one or this one that I manipulated. Which one do you want to use?
The
whenever
manipulated.
that's easiest.
Manipulate.
The one with the 6y.
Manipulated.
This
There's
one?
two.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to plug in negative 1 for z. So 6y minus 10 times negative 1 equals 4. So 6y plus 10 equals 4. 6y equals negative 6. So y equals negative 1. I've now solved for a second variable.
Good job, Dave.
Now what?
Substitute it into another
into
one.
the original.
So I can plug it into any of the originals. Which one do you want to use? First, second, or third?
Third one.
Third one, x is already completely by itself, so it makes life easier. So I've got x plus 4 times y is negative 1, minus 6 times z is negative 1, equals negative 1. So I've got x minus 4 plus 6 equals negative 1. So that's a 2. So I'm going to subtract the 2 over. So x equals negative 3. How do I write my answer?
Y.
Ordered triple.
No.
Ordered triple.
-3, -1,
Yep,
Why does it have to go X, Y, Z?
because that's how the alphabet goes.
because that's how an ordered triple works. Okay, any questions?
No.
You just
it's
leave
way
it on
too
the
Why
long.
does it go X, Y, Z?
Yes, that's fine.
I have a good
That's
question.
how an alphabet goes, Zach.
I'm just really afraid that when I'm doing this on a test or on a quiz, it's gonna be really messy because I have
Yeah.
stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
That's-
there's
You
a
say
lot
it's
of different
messy.
colors going into those problems. Like,
Now that
it's
you-
very-
I'm doing different colors at the moment so you can see what's happening
I'm
step
using
by
different
step.
colors so I can see the different
Oh,
colors.
Violet, you're so fancy taking notes on a
Ma'am, I need
tablet.
colors.
You're so much higher than the rest of us.
Higher?
Yeah.
Higher? Higher?
Yeah. You're richer than the rest of us.
Like,
You
I
know
don't
what I have? Pen and paper.
Wow, Zach, you want a cookie?
Yeah.
Now, at this point, what I'm going to tell you is I would highly suggest you plug that number that you just got back in,
2.
An equation.
and probably not the one you just used to solve for this. I would say choose equation 1 or 2 since we used 3. Plug it in and make sure it works. We're not going to do that because for the sake of time, we're not doing it, and I can tell you that this is the right answer.
Thank
But
you.
on a test, you should plug it in and make sure it works because It would be really frustrating to have done all of that and have gotten it wrong. Now, maybe you can't figure out where you went wrong, but you get to the end and you're like, I know my answer's wrong. I'm going to respect the fact that you said, hey, I can't figure out where I went wrong, but I know my answer's not right because I checked it. You're still going to lose points because it's not right, but you won't lose as many if you've checked it and can tell me that you did something wrong.
Yeah,
Does anybody still need this one? Can I slide?
Shepard, you good? You good?
I'm just trying.
Okay.
He's quiet because his friend isn't here.
Poor Shepherd.
Why do they all have their same reaction?
All right, number 12, same instructions.
We're a throuple.
Also, just so you know, these problems can have no solution.
Good.
Great.
Just
I feel like doing-
just like the other ones did, it can happen.
This
It'll work the
Let go.
same way where you get like a 0 equals -8 kind of deal is what's going to end up happening. And it may not happen till you're almost done, which is kind of sad. But I'm just letting you know it can happen.
So, is there any point in doing number 12? Because there's no solution at this point.
I didn't say there's no
I
solution.
know,
on
but
this
you said it like right at number 12.
No, it's actually this one does have a
Yeah,
solution.
I know.
It's an odd one that doesn't have a solution.
So we're gonna have a no solution on our homework.
Is this sunscreen?
Possibly.
Ma'am, can we only have one of these?
Wait,
Yeah,
what
we
kind of
should not have
wait,
homework
I'm
until
not-
tomorrow if this is gonna take us 2 days to get.
Yeah,
Cause I'm pacey.
we should just do all the notes now.
I will probably go ahead and give you a couple problems, but they won't be due tomorrow. And I say that from the standpoint that tomorrow's going to take us just as long to get this done, and y'all have your PSAT on Wednesday.
What?
Oh.
So you won't be in class, and we have a quiz on Friday. So
Okay, I actually need to ask you a question because I did the practice and the last PSAT
Dude,
question was so
Stop
confusing.
caring so much.
I need you to
It's the
care
practice
so
SAT.
you can tell me.
I know, but
So can you care for me?
You need.
I
I'm
wanna
trying
do the
for the
best I
English
can.
test.
You know
Zach
what?
wouldn't be worried.
What type of lotion is this?
What?
Sunscreen, number 1. And number 2, why did you do that?
why are
Oh,
you
wait.
using that?
What?
Try doing it from the sun.
He took my sunscreen.
You
And
dropped
He
it.
thought it was lotion.
No, it's not lotion. You read it.
Okay, what variable do we want to solve for this time? Let's do something besides
Number
x.
2.
There you go.
Oh.
I didn't. I asked what variable, not a number.
Oh,
Z.
is it 'cause I'm white?
W.
Z. Okay, we're solving for Z. There are some that have 4 equations and 4 unknowns, and W is the other variable.
Great.
Why do you have to make life so difficult?
But I'm letting you know that we won't do that unless we use the cheat method. The cheat method, we could have 15 equations and 15 unknowns, and we'd be able to solve it
We still don't want to do that. though.
like
Yeah,
that.
we still don't want to do that.
It's super easy. I'm just
What are
letting you
gonna
know.
Just like add up all the
She's
things
not gonna
and
tell us yet because she wants us
then you
to
put
learn
it
this
into
way
one
first.
solution and then.
All right, we're solving for, what do we say, Z?
Yeah.
So, which equation should I do?
You stole it from me.
This second.
I would say the first and the last one seem the easiest to me. Like I would multiply the top one by 2.
All right, first and last one, top one by 2. So when I do that, I'm going to have 8x minus 2y plus 4z equals negative 36. And then 3x plus 3y minus 4z equals 44.
I look bad. I look like a ghost.
Combine, I get 11x
Their existence.
plus y equals 8.
Could have never thought. I can't see through
All right,
you. Ghost.
I need to pick 2 other equations and solve for z. What should I do?
Eliminated.
I've already done 1 and 3.
Top and bottom one.
No, I was gonna say
Top
second and
and
last
bottom?
one.
Well,
with
if
we already
we do top
did
and
that.
bottom, then we can just use the same equation that we multiply by 2. 'Cause
What's wrong?
Like,
What's wrong about
multiply it.
right?
Second
Because
by
it'll be
3.
negative 2y plus 2y.
We have to solve for, we have to get z by itself. That's the thing, you have to do it the same variable. So we chose z, so we have to do 2 different equations. So we can't do first and third. So we either have to do first and second or second and third.
Second and third, multiply the second by 3.
Bottom.
Why am I multiplying the second one by 3 to get rid of z?
Oh, I get rid of Z. Okay.
You gotta get rid
Then
of.
multiply by 4.
Just do the first two and then just multiply by -2.
Okay, first 2 multiplied by -2.
That's fair.
Log in.
I like to do as small numbers as possible because there are some that'll get out there into like the hundreds if you don't watch out, and it's annoying. So
It's never not a day. Mason didn't say it ain't long.
4x minus y plus 2z equals -18. Second equation multiplied by -2. 2x minus 4y minus 2z equals -22. Also, just a quick note for you, a common mistake or where people often get things wrong isn't in the multiplying the variables by whatever number it is, but it's remembering to multiply the answer by the number. So when you check your solution, if something's wrong, go back and see if that's where you went wrong, because at least for me, that's where I commonly make mistakes, and when I can find where a student went wrong, that's usually where it is. So they forget to multiply the answer by the number. So I get 6x minus 5y equals, is that -40?
You're so smart, Mason.
Now, when I'm going to go stack these up, I'm going to go ahead and multiply so I don't have to like rewrite things as many times. So, what variable do we want to solve for, x or y?
Y, because it's easier.
Well, what will
I would do
Five.
y because if I have to multiply the x's by stuff, I'm going to get really big numbers. So I need to multiply this equation by 5 because this one's a -5. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 5. So I would get 55x plus 5y equals 40. And then I'm just copying this one down. 6x minus 5y equals -40. So I get, what's this, 61x equals 0. So x equals 0. Nice and easy. Plug this into, I would say this is probably original equation here. So 11 times 0 plus y equals 8. So y equals 8. Now I take those two and plug it into one of the original 3 equations. Second one, so I've got 0 plus 2 times 8, and I don't care if you write the 0, I just did for filler point, plus z equals 11. So 16 plus z equals 11. So z equals -5. How do I write my answer?
0,
0, 8,
0,
-5.
0, comma 8, comma -5.
And parentheses.
That box is crooked.
I just can't take you serious no more.
And again, I'm going to say this every time. You should check this, but this answer is right, so we're not going to check it for the sake of time. But you should check it. Now, when you're checking a solution like this, you can get away with only checking it in 1, whereas the ones where I said at the beginning you need to check it in at least 2. That's because they're giving you a solution. But if you've solved this and it works in 1, it's going to work in all of them. And if by some chance it doesn't, then, it happens. Okay, I am going to go ahead and give you a couple problems. If we feel like we need to do one more elimination one tomorrow, we'll do one more, and then we're going to move into substitution and do like 2 with the method of substitution.
Yeah, what time do you got?
Yeah, 10, 11. We have like
5, 7, and 5 and 7 are just plugging in the number, so they're not actually solving, and then 9 and 11 are elimination. And I'll add like probably 2 more tomorrow. Now, you don't have to do these tonight. We should have time tomorrow unless y'all have a ton of questions. But I don't want you to have to do all this stuff tomorrow night on top of having a PSAT on Wednesday and all of that. And I'm not expecting you to bring it and turn it in on Wednesday before your PSAT or after your PSAT, but you do need to turn it in on Thursday because technically it would be due Wednesday. But I'm just not making you come like find me and turn it in is all I'm saying. So
Okay.
it'll technically be due Wednesday, so I'm not giving you homework on Wednesday night. Just want to make that clear. So if you want to come find me and turn it in, totally fine, but you don't have to.